Alright, so now I'm going to explain what the signs mean. While I'm explaining, kind of keep in mind that this song, like I said, she's painting, it's like she's painting this portrait of these going between these different seasons, and so, and how she kind of deviates from the painting at some points. It's very beautiful. But from the beginning, spring and summer every other day. So she's saying spring. This is the sign for spring, which is kind of like it's a flower blooming. Spring continues. Sign for continue. Summer. Kind of pull your finger against your forehead, and you pull the finger back, because if you don't pull it back, it looks like it. Just keep it straight. That means black. So spring continues into summer. Every day, you take your thumb and pull it against the chin over and over. So every day, over and over and over again. This sign for over and over. You can tell by the repetitiveness of it. Keeps going. And so, anyway, I think I remember seeing that sign in the show when I went and saw it back in January before it closed. I think it's in And Then There Were None, where Moritz says, been there before. And so he's saying that he's been there over and over and over again with no end. So just to kind of deviate away from that song, but go into the other song, some connections with the signs. But anyway, so she's saying spring continues into summer every day over and over again. Blue wind, this is where she starts kind of painting this picture. So the blue wind, which I'm assuming when she talks about the blue wind, it's a cold wind. It's one that we would associate with winter and snow. So blue wind, this is the sign for wind, gets so sad, which brings back the sign of the take it easy, where we saw that in The Mama Who Bore Me. So the blue wind, it takes it easy, and blowing through the thick corn, through the bales of hay. So this is a very visual section right here, this small bit, because the wind is taking it easy, and this is, we would sign this like earth. So it's kind of like it comes up, the sprouts from the earth come up, and they flow in the wind. So the thick corn, sign for corn, and then the bales, kind of like you're making a bale. And this is grass, or it can also, I guess, equivalent to, it's the equivalent to hay. So blue wind takes it easy, blowing through the thick corn, through the bales of hay. And then this is where she uses some classifiers to make it's what we would call locative classifiers, which help us build a picture, which I discussed back in the other video with Mama Who Bore Me, where she had Jesus descending. But this is where, instead of using a human, Ilsa is creating places. So she says the open books on the grass. And so she opens the books, these are the sign for book, and places them down. And then spring continues into summer. So that whole first verse is spring continues into summer every day, over and over again. The wind takes it easy, blowing through the thick corn, through the bales of hay, opening the books and putting them on the grass. Spring continues into summer. So that's that whole first verse. Now we're kind of going into where it's the season changes. And I remember when I saw this, when I saw the show, how Krysta Rodriguez, who was performing as Ilsa, her demeanor, her whole expression just changed because she fears this season. She fears winter, and the start of fall. She knows it's going to bring this cold wind, and so I just remember her entire expression changing, and it was chilling, to say the least. But anyway, so the signs. She goes, sure, when it's autumn. So this is yes, the sign for yes. This is no, but yes. Now it's fall or autumn. And wind always wants to creep up and haunt you. This section, I feel like Ilsa, she almost takes on, she embodies this blue wind, this winter wind that she fears, because it's almost like there's somebody else there that she's showing that they're creeping up. The blue wind is creeping up to scare or haunt. But anyway, so kind of keep that in mind. She kind of shifts to create this blue wind. She's making this picture. So yes, now it's autumn. The wind always, this is a sign for always, wants to creep up, kind of like this is kind of a visual. It's kind of like you're sneaking up, and this is scare, become scared, haunt you. Whispering, it's got you. So it's like, this is speak. So whispering, people will say kind of like this, because it's a softer kind of speaking, and then got you, that capture you. So if you remember, there's this person that the wind is going to creep on, that it's haunting, and it takes the person, it's got them, which I think is so powerful. It's got you. Then she says, with its heartache, with its sorrow, winter wind sings and it cries. So this is heart. You of course, your left side, you would draw a heart, and then heartache. But this is the sign for break. So when she does this heartache, you don't see the pain. You don't see her sign pain, which you see multiple times through the show. I know you'll see it through the word of your body, the I'm gonna be wounded. This show pain. And you also see it in this song, in the next verse. But I found it so interesting that she would sign that this heartbreak instead of the heartache. There's a difference between a heartache and a heartbreak. So it's your heart hurts and then your heart is broken. There's a huge difference, and so just the way that she felt like she needed to specify this heartbreak, that her heart was broken, what she's experienced. Heartbreak, and then sorrow. Remember in The Mama Who Bore Me, this was sadness. Sadness came over. And so she, it's like the sadness came over her, and it cries. With its heartache, with its sorrow. Oh, winter wind. So this is the winter. You have your spring, summer, and then you have your fall, and then you have winter, which is kind of visual. It's like you're cold. Winter, wind, and then sings. It's kind of like the wind is coming, and then it cries. It pushes you down. So that's the whole second verse. So yes, now it's fall, and the wind always wants to kind of creep and sneak up on you and scare you and haunt you, and whispering it's got you, and that it captured you. And then with its heartbreak and the sadness, the sorrow, winter wind, it's coming, and then it pushes you down. It brings you down. And instead of where we saw in the Mama Who Bore Me, where she says that Jesus was coming, Christ will come a-calling. This is where we would use another one of the classifiers, where we say this is wind. And so the wind isn't just one. She's decided that it is one thing, that she's personified the wind, but it's like it's coming. It's a bigger entity to her, that it's coming, and she's put her down and pushing her down. So that's the second verse. The third verse is pretty repetitive, except for a few pieces that she actually changes. She says, spring continues into summer every day, over and over again. Blue wind gets so sad, blue wind gets so pained, Blue wind, so the wind, sadness comes over and there's pain. And then blowing through the thick corn, through the bales of hay. So, then she goes through the wandering. This was a weird sign for me, actually. Through the wandering drift. Through the sudden drift of the rain. Through the sudden drift of the rain. So this is the sign for change, shift. And so instead of doing drift, she takes like her finger and she points, and then she takes this and does that. So it's like it's almost like it's a change. And then the rain, of course, this is snow, and this is rain. So sudden drift of the rain, spring continues into summer. So spring continues into summer every day, over and over again. Blue wind the sadness comes over and there's pain, and blowing through the thick corn, through the bales of hay, through the sudden drift of the rain, so there's shift in the rain, and spring continues into summer. And then that's the first three verses that actually go with just that one piece that is sung by Ilsa, what is considered the Blue Wind piece. And then I added when I was signing, I added a fourth verse, which is sung with Moritz at the end of I Don't Do Sadness, or I Just Don't Do Sadness, where Ilsa and Moritz they're layering each other. But I'll go ahead and explain that one, because it is kind of repetitive from the others, but there are some pieces that I found kind of interesting. So spring and summer every other day, which you know, which that means, she goes, blue wind gets so lost. So she does this. This is the sign for lost. Like you've lost something. I don't know where it is. This is nothing. And so I don't know where it is. You shake your head. But she does this, which is fade, or to go away. It's kind of like no more. And so when she's saying that this wind is fading, I wasn't exactly sure, because when we're in the spring and the summertime, this blue wind, this cold winter wind, it's gone. So it's faded going into the spring, and so the blue wind has faded. And this sign is also used in the show multiple times. I know, especially from the song Touch Me, where to take the first verse, or the first line, where I go when I go there, no more memory anymore. So it's like they're saying something is fading. So memory has faded. I'll be doing that song some other time. I believe that's on my list of songs to explain. However, I feel like I need somebody else to help me with the signing, so I have to request that from one of my siblings. But anyway, keep an eye out for that one sometime soon. So going back to the song, sorry, I get really distracted. So the wind gets so lost, it fades, and blowing through the thick corn, through the bales of hay, and then she repeats it a second time, the spring and summer, so spring continuing into summer, every day, over and over again. The wind fades, and then blowing through the thick corn, through the bales of hay, and then she does this, she goes through the wandering clouds of the dust. So this is a sign for mess, and this is kind of like it's a chaos. It's almost like it's a cloud, and so, but it's moving it along. So the wandering, I would explain the wandering clouds of the dust, but it fades. She uses the fade away sign. So the wandering clouds of the dust fades away, and then because spring continues into summer. So that's pretty much explains the entirety of Blue Wind, with a little extra piece at the end to finish off the piece itself, because I found it kind of interesting how she was saying that the winter wind, the blue wind, was fading because we're going into spring and into summer. So, but now you kind of have an idea of what she's saying, and I just really wanted to kind of, the reason why I really wanted to explain this one was the way that because I was so intrigued with the way that she was, with the words she paints this picture, but I don't think that she can quite achieve it without the signs, and so the signs really kind of bring it together. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this, and you leave with some new knowledge, and keep up with me, subscribe, make any comments. Like I said, I do have a short list of songs that I am going to try and explain in the come future, the near future. So keep an eye out, and thanks for watching. Bye!